All right, shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. And I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai, black man. It's your brother, Chief Priest, Al-Azhar Maloya, aka the Gorilla Hebrew. Up early, checking these comments out on the SICARRI Water channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, I got sent this article by two brothers, Sean Harris and Ready Word. Both of them sent me this Fox News article about a sculpted head of a mystery biblical king found in Israel. Okay, an archaeological find. And there's a little bit of information out on it, so I want to kind of go into that article and actually show y'all the head that was found. All right. We'll start here. A rare miniature sculpture of a king that dates back almost 3,000 years has prompted scholars to figure out whose face it depicts. The mysterious two-inch sculpture is a very rare example of figurative art from the Holy Land during the 9th century BC, a period associated with biblical kings. The sculpture is exquisitely preserved, but for a bit of a missing beard, and nothing quite like it has been found before. Why has nothing quite like it been found before? It's very simple, because it wasn't an Israelite custom to make statues and figurines of people. That wasn't customary in Israel, because that's truthfully idolatry. So that's not something that we began to practice. But as we continue taking a look at the historical context of the time period in which this was created, pursuant to their findings, you begin to understand why Israel was doing things like this. While scholars are certain the stern-beard figure donning a golden crown represents royalty, they are less sure which king it symbolizes or which kingdom he may have ruled. Archaeologists unearthed the diminutive figurine in 2017 during excavations at a site called Abel Beth Makkah, right, located just south of Israel's border with Lebanon near the modern-day town of Metula. So let's just take a look at that town real quick. Right, this is the Wikipedia article on the town. It's going to show you where it is. It's up there next to Dan. So this is in the Northern Kingdom. All right, Northern Kingdom land. In specifics, it appears that it falls within the borders of the tribe of Naphtali. So now we get some contextual understanding of which kingdom of Israel this was found in. The Northern Kingdom, you know, the kingdom who was most associated with idolatry during the time when we were in our land. So it makes sense that this idol or figurine was found in the north, where idolatry was rampant, and that in part, that played a major part in the kingdom split and the continuity of the kingdom rivalry between the northern and southern kingdom. One kingdom was more prone to staying true to our power, the Most High Yahweh. The other was prone to idolatry and following the practices of the other nations. Though we both fell victim to it, we definitely both did our fair share of evil and wickedness. The Northern Kingdom was kind of the pioneer and the front runner of it, as we see talked about all over the Bible. So all of this makes sense. It's very consistent with the biblical narrative, right? Moving on. Archaeologists, I read that part. A team from Hebrew University was digging through the floor of a massive Iron Age structure when a volunteer who arrived for the day struck pay dirt. The layer where the head was found dates to the 9th century BCE. The epic associated with the rival biblical kingdoms of Israel and Judah. During that time, the kingdom split, and the beef was cracking between Israel and Judah. So that's what this time dates back to. In a rare move, archaeologists and curators of the Israel Museum in Jerusalem rushed to put the piece on public display. A detailed report is set for publication in the June edition of the journal Near Eastern Archaeology. Moving on. Aaron Airy, the Israel Museum's curator of Iron Age and Persian archaeology, said the discovery was one of a kind. In the Iron Age, if there's any figurative art, and there largely isn't, it's of very low quality, and this is of exquisite quality, right? 19th century archaeologists identified the site, then home to a village called Abil Aqwam, with the similarly named city mentioned in the Book of Kings. When you look this up, this city, let me go here, Slack-it. This city, it'll tell you where it's mentioned. Salakia. Right here, Second Samuel, you'll see it, and it's also in Kings. I forget exactly where, but if you read it in the KJV, it's called something else. But when you look it up in the Hebrew and you take a look at it in other translations, it's called Abil Beth Messiah. All right, headed back here. During the 9th century BC, the ancient town was situated in a liminal zone between three regional powers: the Aramean kingdom based in Damascus to the east, the Phoenician city of Tyre to the west, and the Israelite kingdom with its capital in Samaria to the south. Right here, 1 Kings 15 and 20, that's where it mentions it. But it mentions, as a matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. Get it real quick. 1 Kings 15 and 20. So Benhadad hearkened unto King Asa, or King Asa, and sent, which was the king of Judah during that time, and sent the captains of the host which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan and Abel Beth Messiah. That's it right there. Abel Beth Messiah, right? So remember, let's take a look at the map. Here's Abel Beth Messiah. So like yeah, right there. And there's Dan right next to it. So they were attacking and sieging these particular cities in the north. That's what the king of Assyria was doing during that time, right? And Abel Beth Messiah and Dan and all Cinnereth with all the land of Naphtali, because that's where this is. It's in the land of Naphtali, amongst the tribe of Naphtali, which today are known as the so-called Argentinians and Chileans. All right. Remember, it said that Naphtali shall possess the south and the west, as we see there in the north, not possessing the south and the west. That's how we know who it pertains to in this time in the Americas, so-called indigenous Argentinians and Chileans. All right, just wanted to throw that in there. Moving on, Salakia. The location is very important because it suggests that the site may have shifted hands between these polities, more likely between Aram, Damascus, and Israel. Again, this is what they're saying. It suggests, this is the key part, the royal figurine is made of faience, if I'm saying that correctly, a glass-like material. Make sure y'all can see this, Salakia. A glass-like material that was popular in jewelry and small human and animal figurines in ancient Egypt and the Near East. This is important, so let's take a look at it. Like everybody know about, if you study ancient Egypt, you know about the scarab beetle and its importance, and they would make a lot of turquoise art with this same type of ceramic glass that this particular figurine. And let me show y'all, because I didn't even show y'all, my fault. I didn't even show y'all this. This is the figurine, all right? We're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth, but it's made out of the same thing that scarab beetle I just showed y'all was made out of, right? Now the color, as for the color, as we see here, they know this crown is gold, right? So there's just some deterioration of weathering, but you see that the golden crown is about the same color as the skin. Now, mind you, we're going to read about the fact that they covered this dude in paste, this figurine in white paste, all right, with a vague copper tint. So don't mind how light it is. But we can see that it was a brown, not a deep dark brown, but about a golden brown. All right, that's going to come up in a second. Matter of fact, Egypt, Salakia. Let's go to the Bible. Hosea 7, I'm going to start at 10. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to Yahweh their God, nor seek him for all this, meaning they're committing idolatry, which is why they're making figurines to kings. That's idolatry. Verse 11. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. Part of this calling to Egypt was them tirelessly attempting to get the love of Egypt, establish treaties with Egypt and alliances with Egypt. That's what the northern kingdom was doing a lot during that time period, during the kingdom split. And they were even doing it and teaming up with the Egyptians to come against us, teaming up with the Assyrians to come against us. What do I mean by us? Those of us in the southern kingdom. This was a common practice. Open your Bible, read it, right? Our own brothers, when the kingdom split, this is where all that rivalry and the enmity comes between the two kingdoms. And we can see it play out in certain instances in this day and time between blacks and Hispanics, but that doesn't change the fact that we're all one people. This is an ancient rivalry that's been going on, right? But this brother here, You can't tell me that this Northern Kingdom king does not look like a so-called Latino person. You can't tell. There's no way you can. And this is cold, hard proof that Latinos are Israelites, because this dude looked exactly like it. Look at them braids, right? Number one, even before we get into him looking like a Latino, this don't look like no so-called Jewish man. Look at them braids. This isn't even a custom. This is what we do, right? But let's just take a look. Latino with braids. You mean tell me dude don't look like none of these brothers? Not this Asian cat. That's crazy, right? So like it, I got a lot of girls on here. I want to get, there's one. You mean tell me dude don't look like my man right here? Is that what you telling me? Crazy. Clearly showing you that these Northern Kingdom Israelites look like how Latinos look, resembled them strongly. All right, and I got more historical proof on that. This is a book called A Concise History of the Jewish People. Now watch this. Besides the political and ethnic differences between Israel and Judah, there were religious ones. You see that? Political and ethnic and religious differences. What were the political differences? Number one, you see that when the kingdom split, when Jeroboam and Rehoboam have it out. That's a political difference. What is the religious difference? The fact that they were worshiping idols, and in the south, we were more prone to worshiping our God, Yahweh. But there were also ethnic differences that distinguish us from them, that distinguish the two kingdoms. So we already had began to start looking different or becoming two nations. So people talk all this, all 12 tribes look the same. Israel is a homogeneous people. All 12 tribes are Negro. All that is out the window when we take a look at the history, when we take a look at the archaeology. Again, this book, A Concise History of the Jewish People, tells you that there were distinguishable ethnic differences between the kingdoms during the time of this. We're talking about, look, 842, right around the same time where they're dating this sculpture back to that resembles a Latino man. They're telling you that ethnically, the two kingdoms had distinguishable differences. The same way us and Latinos and the Great Deal and Native Indians have distinguishable differences. Y'all dudes are not understanding the importance of the history. You're not studying the scriptures. You're totally ignoring prophecy, and of course the archaeological findings that totally cohesively work together to prove the point that blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians together collectively make up the 12 tribes of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You can't get around. This is further proof. This is such a, that's why I'm happy. Because I was fighting the flesh. My flesh was getting weak. I'm tired. And I'm like, you know what? Let me check the comments. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really been moderating the comments today. Check the comments, and 2 different brothers made sure to send me this. So now I'm just now doing a video. I've been researching this well over an hour. Just going into it, trying to find out all I can about it. But this is cold, hard, undeniable proof and facts. All right. The color of the face is greenish because of the copper tint that we have in this silicate paste. So they covered the face in the silicate paste. All right, so y'all can understand that is in part why dude looking so damn light, right? But you can see again, you can see the gold here, and you can see the gold here because it didn't deteriorate the coloration totally. All right, and you can of course see the braids. It clearly ain't no damn so-called Jewish man. That's clear. All right, it's a Latino looking brother. All right, moving on. But a crucial clue to identifying it as a Near Eastern monarch was a very interesting hairdo. See, look, the Jewish man, because mind you, his name is Yahalom Mak. That's his last name, right? So it's a Jewish dude. It's an interesting hairdo because he knows his people don't rock braids. Look at this nigga braids. Are you kidding me? Nigga look like Latrell Sprewell with these braids, right? So the Jewish man looking at this like, but this is because it's not your people, dude. Y'all don't get it yet? Anyway, the bearded figurine's hair is pulled back in thick locks that cover the ears and is held in place by a striped diadem of gold. Its hairstyle looks similar to the way ancient Egyptians depicted neighboring Near Eastern peoples in art. Because carbon 14 dating cannot give a more exact date of the statue certain other than sometime in the 9th century. The field of potential candidates is large, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, I mean, this is pretty cold, man. All right. So I just want to do this brief video on this archaeology. With that, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, and say shalom.